And so I've put a few videos out so far that have taken us through the steps of finding the right home, um, of getting pre-approved by a lender, and then I've explained agency and what it means to have an agent representing you in a real estate transaction. So today I want to take just a few minutes and talk about all the hoops, all the steps that it takes to get from that contract, once we found the right home and had an offer accepted, through to the closing date. So in Colorado, we are not what they call an escrow state. So instead, we have a contract timeline, and the title company is going to oversee all of the paperwork and make sure that everything comes together in terms of funding and contracts and whatnot at the closing table. So on the day of closing, once the buyer has signed, the seller has signed, the funds will be dispersed, and the contract will be closed. In the meantime, there's a lot that a buyer has to worry about to get there. And so here, as your agent, I'm going to be making sure we keep on track. So any contract, any offer is going to have a table of dates, and it's going to basically give us all the highlights of what needs to be accomplished. And for the most part, what those dates are going to represent are areas where we can do our due diligence and potentially back out of the contract and still keep our earnest money if we find something that's not acceptable. So it's things like the inspection, and we can be doing radon tests and sewer scopes. It's things like loan approval and whether or not the loan terms are what we want. Home insurance, do we have any objections to the home insurance we're able to get on that specific property? The appraisal, of course, of the home. Did it come in at value? So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out those dates up front when we write the offer. They will be accepted or countered. In the end, we're going to have a contract where we agree on those objection deadlines. And then once those deadlines are met, submit an objection if we have one, or let that deadline pass. And then the seller will potentially have an opportunity to resolve whatever issues we may have, if we have any. Once that's complete, we're going to get to the point where we have usually a week to 2 weeks between the last objection deadline and the closing. That's when the title company is going to get all that final paperwork put together. If there's a loan to be taken, then the lender will have their final paperwork to do. There is a 3-day right for the buyer to review that final loan document. So the lender has to send what they call a CD, which is the final disclosure document, and the buyer gets to review that for 3 days, and then we go to the closing table. So a short, very high-level synopsis of what goes on between contract and close here is that we're going to have that laid out up front, and we as your agent are going to guide you through every step of that process to make sure that we don't miss a deadline and that we are protecting our earnest money through every step of the transaction, and finally that we're buying the house that we know we're getting. We're going to have our eyes wide open and know what we're buying the day we close. If you have any questions about that, give me a call back. I'm at 719-337-7254. Would love to chat in more detail. In the meantime, have a great day, and I hope I hear from you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.